So we're gonna have a little pause here and do a review. We'll do a component review real quick, as I promised. Take a little stop on this nice little place by that temple over there. Yeah, it's a little neighborhood place. Gotta get a beer for the review.有白味有没有？好的，有白味。
白味是吧？
是啊。
玻璃瓶还是铝罐的？
啊。
玻璃的。
对。
要几瓶？
一个。
要一瓶。
So we're gonna have a beer here and do a review.
来，帮你开。
帮我开，对。Okay, so Budweiser, do they have other beers? Yes, they do. Is Budweiser a great beer compared to the other beers? Yeah, the other beers have quality control issues a little bit, and you will get hungover with a lot of them. Some of you won't. There's one other kind, Chinese beer light, but it's not the greatest. So, we'll do a review here. A lot of people just watching. Hello everybody. This is Robert with Deep Thought Cycle Blogs and blog more than one. And if you just joined us, I'm going to commute on the way home. There's a temple over there, and we're going to stop here and have a little break on the way home and do a real life review from me to you. I'm having a very therapeutic ride here. I hope that you're enjoying my commute home as I am. Today we're going to talk about the Schwalbe Marathon Plus, the original 700 by 35 Cs. These are Schwalbe Marathon 700 by 30 8C tires. Underneath my Planet Cascadia thinners, you can see even my back tire is in good shape. My front tire is in good shape, almost like new. This has about 7,000 kilometers on it already. I'd say that it can go about another 7,000 kilometers. I've heard of them going 15,000. I haven't had one puncture flat in these. Now, I'm using these Mavic 821 rims. They're a little bit wider. Light 500 gram rims, but these tires are like 1 kg. And the stem here, I'm using Schwalbe tubes. And I don't know how many grams they are. But together with the tires, I guess like 1,200 grams at least. And when you add the, don't look, when you add the hubs and the spokes, then you're talking about like 1.6, 1.8, I don't know how. I've got Hope hubs. So I don't know what the rotational speed would be, or weight, but it does slow you down. I'm waiting to replace these with Schwalbe Marathon Supremes TL Easy, and then these rims, since they're what's called UST rims, they don't need rim tape actually, because in the inside of the rim they're smooth as a baby's butt, and the nipples don't go through the rim, so you don't need tape. And I ordered the stems from Mavic, so I want to replace these Marathons with Supreme Pluses, and I've never had tubeless tires. but it should be lighter. Lighter. Let me tell you about these tires. These tires are special. When it rains, they magically go slower. And when it's cold asphalt, magically go slower. When there's a car coming though, woo, they can see really good with that reflective strip. You see, this is a nice street here, nothing real bad. I went on some glass to come here, and I go over a lot of glass everywhere, and you just can't avoid it sometimes, especially in China. And when I'm going to work, I don't have a lot of time. These tires get me to where I want to be. And if you take a look at my rear pannier right now, super light traveling today. But I rarely pack up, especially on the cold days. This is always loaded. And there's no noticeable wear on the rear tire for being loaded. It still handles the weight well. Now, it feels softer in the back. And these are the second pair that I've had. It feels softer in the back. I could really feel the big, thick anti-puncture tube in there. It's kind of a disappointment lately. I keep telling myself that's why I'm going so slow. Looks like a little bit dirty here. I keep telling myself that's why I'm going slower. In my head, I could feel it. In my last set of tires I had, I could not feel it at all, and I regularly achieved 28, 29 kilometer averages per hour. I don't know if that's because I was 3 years younger, 10 kilos lighter, and just stronger or what. I'm trying to get back into shape. But at this point, after going like 7,000 kilometers, getting back into shape, I'm still not there yet. Since last October, right now it's April when I made this, and I took 1 month off. 450 kilometers a week, but they still feel slow. So to get a little bit more speed, I'm going to actually switch tires. But if I was going on an expedition, where can we get the good Chinese picture to feel part of the scene here? All right, here we go in the middle of the street. If I was actually going to go on a long expedition or in some strange countries where I needed to be dependable, where I didn't have dependable tires, I haven't used the Supremes yet, but I'd almost say I'd probably choose the tires that I'm currently running or the Schwalbe Marathon Touring that I had before, which has a little bit thicker tread. Thicker tread on a tire. It's so heavy. Well, let me tell you, it's so awkward to hold the camera. You can see me like that while I'm not. In my experience, the last set that I had was 3 years ago. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And I put like mini kilometers on them, but within the first 2,000 kilometers, I got mini flats, like 2 or 3 flats. I didn't expect to get any. And one of them that I got was really far out in the middle of nowhere, like at 12 in the morning or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't have an extra tube, and it was just a huge pain in the ass, and it wasn't supposed to happen to me. And it happened at the worst time in the worst location. And but I mean, up until like 8,000, 9,000 kilometers, or 10,000 kilometers, I only got like I did get about 10 or 12 flats. So that was a little bit disappointing to get 10 or 12 flats. But I ended up changing them out with the much heavier Marathon Touring, and I didn't get 1 flat. And I was so strong, I actually put Foss tubes in them with that. I was so strong that I didn't mind it. And now that I'm older, I'm having a hard time losing weight. I don't know. I'm doing the kilometers. But I wonder if this new model, just years later, is just slower. I mean, it's definitely more puncture resistant. Not one flat at 7,000 kilometers, which is way better than the series, the Marathon Pluses I had a couple years ago. Way better. I mean, in fact, aside from their sluggishness and their dead feeling when I pedal, I can live with that if I'm not in a hurry to commute every day. But because I'm in a hurry right now, I get stuck in the 20 to 24 kilometer an hour average speed, except when I'm trying to, even pushing it really hard. It's hard for me to see high averages. And going up hills, going up bridges, when you got that kind of weight, I mean, it kills you. I got a heavy bike. You know, when I'm climbing the Loshi Bridge or some other bridge with these heavy tires, that's when you really tell the unsprung weight in your tires. And I mean, I lose a lot of time in going up hills and going up mountains and stuff. So I'm looking to combat that and, save 5 to 7 minutes per day in the commute. That will actually add up to like hours a month, which is good for my family. And so the price is a little bit high, but for the durability, if you want to commute higher, and I pull trailers on this. I let my kids sit on the back sometimes, but I pull trailer and tandem at the same time, and I put, and the rolling resistance is really good. I mean, I put the same Schwalbe Marathon pluses on my tandem and on my Burley trailer and my other trailer. And I've gone on little miniature expeditions with them, and they kick ass. If you're going in gravel and you're going in dirt roads, go for the touring version, if you could handle the weight. I'm going for speed in my commute, so I'm going to switch over to Supreme, but I'm a little bit worried because I hear people say, oh yeah, I got tons of flats on the Supremes, and I'm not going to be down with that, but hopefully because they're tubeless. I never saw reviews of the tubeless Supremes. Hopefully that'll be cool. Be a little kitty here. Shapong Yao. Oh, you're the top 5 help out now. Oh, it's a little Chinese baby here. I said, wow, it's such cute hair. So, I got these from CRC. Schwalbe, the company Schwalbe. They make tire levers and stuff, and I don't know. I mean, Chinese people walking on the street, right? Chinese girlfriends. Countryside people. What does countryside mean? Is that a state of mind? But anyway, Schwalbe, I don't know. I've never dealt with their company directly. And lately dealing with the company Schwalbe, I wrote a couple emails and I hardly get a response. And the response I got was they pointed me to their Chinese local distributor who had this really crazy email address and it looked really unprofessional, like a lot of scammers I know in China. And I know that Western people come over looking for distributors, and he's got the same distributor for Saipan, and they'll get these the foreigners will stop into China, and they'll get some kind of a really snake oil salesman distributor that will use their name and say, oh yeah, I'm on the Schwalbe website, come buy my shit, but then realistically they'll have fakes and they'll have copies, and so the representation in China sucks. If they're represented in Hong Kong, they should be doing something with flying ball. But I don't go to Hong Kong a lot. But even their Hong Kong, their new territory distributors, come on. I mean, why not go with Flying Ball, the best in Hong Kong? 50 years. But in mainland China, their supply sucks. Their distributors are really fishy, and I'm sure because Schwalbe is popular on the small tandem bikes. On the small foldable bikes like Dannon and stuff. That there's going to be a lot of fake Schwalbe tires here, and because in China, whenever there's a large enough demand for a product, you can be damn sure there's going to be fake products. And for that matter, they should have a very trusting distributor that has some kind of good face in China, has a good reputation. And the distributor in China has no good face. You see this building over there? All the red stuff on the door. Be happy and be lucky. You see the bars up on the window up there? So nobody breaks in. People break into houses in China. You see the bars up on the top floor? Because they got ninjas that scale the houses. In the land of ninjas that scale houses and break into your home and steal all of your shit, they make fake tires too. I can't. Schwalbe's got to have like their version of bars on the tires. But I mean, when you look at people that are touring, Schwalbe's always the number one name. My first tire I had was Continental, but I switched to Schwalbe, and I've been with them the whole time. But I've never ever. What's up? Guys, here, check us out here. Check us out. So I've never actually dealt with Schwalbe's customer service on a direct basis until recently. And Schwalbe, if you're watching this review, there's other people watching. Jones, when I got my Jones loop bar right here on the bike, this loop bar right here. Jones' wife, a hand builder, was so helpful in the email, and she sent me out this bar. And you know what it said on the box of the bar for the Jones bar? It said, like, our quality. It said something like, our quality is so good for this shit. I'm sure you like it if you buy some more of our shit, or something like that. Some kind of slogan on the box like that. And it's right. I mean, their quality is so good, and Schwalbe's quality is pretty good, except for. I heard they had some issues. They from one of their plants in India. And customer service. Look at Shirley. You know, I had some problems with Shirley and CRC. They sent me the wrong derailleur. You know, I had this wrong trekking derailleur for my setup, and CRC got in touch with the people at Shirley, and they're like, you know, your website has the wrong listing for gearing, because if you look at their frame specs, the listing is wrong for what's compatible and stuff, and like their derailleur and front derailleur, like. It's not compatible with the side tooth set, and they fucked up on it, and they're really cool about it. Like Shirley's, oh yeah, they sent me a derailleur for free. They sent me the right one, and CRC's customer service is shitty as CRC is, because you got to wait like a couple of days every time for them to get back to you, and they're just way overloaded. But you know what? They get the cheap product. It seems a little bit more responsive than Schwalbe. And I lived in Germany for 6 years. Ich habe gewohnt aus Quattrode, aus Turningen für 6 Jahre, und ich habe so viel Liebe für Deutschen gehabt. Ich kann nicht sagen, wie viel Liebe ich habe für dein Mensch und dein Bier und meine alte Frau und meine alte Leute und alles für sehr wunderbar. Aber in Chinese they say, 为什么 why? And why is it so hard to get this TL easy? If you're in a country that's like China or India or an Asian country where counterfeit products are prevalent, I'd say buy your tire before you go to that country. Now, these tires I have are not foldables, and I have tucked them up underneath my pannier bungee cord, and they're a pain in the ass to carry. So know that. Look at that up there. You see that house up there? You see that windmill up there? That pinwheel? On every festival in China, you go to the festivals, and the Chinese people just walk around holding pinwheels. I don't know why. They think it's like something magical. Anyways, this is Robert from Deep Thought Cycle Vlogs, and this has been my review of Schwalbe Marathon Plus. I mean, 2 thumbs up, and it's heavy. and it won't let you down. Just be a man. But you need to go faster, go with the Supremes. Okay? And come ride with me sometime. And I'll get some more reviews coming. Thank you very much. Peace out. And I still have half a beer left from this review. Should we talk a little bit more? I'm tempted to talk about everything on my bike. I mean, should we talk about the Brooks saddle here? That's starting to fit the shape of my ass bones? Should we talk about that little clamp underneath it? That's the clamp for my trailer bike, tandem bike for my kids, 24-inch. Should we talk about that Hope C-clamp on there? On the Thompson laid back to give me that longer length in the cockpit? You want to talk about that toe peak rack that fits that bag, or that strapped in fucking, what is that called? What is this lock called? The A-bus German lock I use whenever I'm forced to lock my bike up. Very rarely. Are these Ortlieb bags or this Planet Cascadia? When I drink my beer, it's so hard to say goodbye. All these things, and we didn't even talk about the derailleur here, my hitch, or the Burley, the special one I got her, that nice 160 millimeter Avid disc that is such a pain in my ass. Why isn't it bigger? I don't mean it's a pain in my ass. I wish it was bigger to be a bigger. No, don't be sick. But what about the horizontal dropouts? Can we talk about that pain in my ass? Adjusting that. I mean, horizontal dropouts with this brake mount Avid. I mean, if you don't adjust this shit perfectly straight, if you adjust it a little bit like off skew, then you get lower rolling resistance, or more roller resistance. And then if you adjust your caliper mount and your tire's already fucking screwed, when you finally, I gotta strip my tire out, then you gotta fucking fuck with your caliper. But then it's like you gotta adjust the caliper mount to be perfect. After you adjust the caliper mount to be perfect, then you have to adjust the caliper itself to be perfect on the caliper mount. And let me tell you, man, that is, they should talk to the Rollhoff guys and get some like teeth like grooves, so you could like turn it and exactly match it up with the lever. But this frame here is made in Taiwan, right? Maybe that's what No. And I have to tell you that, going back to this review before I finished up, I'm using 32 spoke rims right now. I didn't even talk about the tire pressure. I run these tires at 6 bar all the time, nothing less. I've run them at 6.1, 6.2. I've even blown them off my old bike a couple years ago. But 6 bar, you need to have, if you want to go fast mode. You gotta have 6 bar all the time. And these, on my new UST rims, they leak pressure very rarely. I mean, I don't have to pump them up as much as my old rims. Maybe that has to do with the tubes, though. I have problems with the tubes. That's another review, probably. Shitty fucking tubes. Well, not really, but I have some problems with it. But it's 6 bar. To get them firmed up, 6 bar. This guy looking at his motorcycle almost wrecked. That's something very important. And also, running 32 versus like 36 spoke wheels, maybe with that weight it allows more flex. When I paired these on my DT Swiss, I gotta tell you, is it the tire's fault that I'm going slow? I think that my rear rim, my Mavic rim, I think it has flex in it. I mean, if I could do it again, I will get the DT 36 spoke rim, at least for my rear, at least. The TK 540, maybe because that is such a stiff motherfucking rim. I mean, I remember when I first put those 2 rims on my bike. At the same time I upgraded my crate. It's like on my old bike. It's like, oh my god, going from the shitty rims that came with my Gary Fisher Cobia 2009 and upgrading to these 36-spoke TK 540s. The stiffness was just unbelievable. And maybe I'm losing wattage and power and pedaling because I'm using the 32-spoke. So I would recommend in combination, if you're going to really run the Marathon Plus for the ideal combo, build yourself a 36-spoke rim. And, and I'd recommend the TK 540s over and over again. The Mavics are light, and I'm trying to love them. There's just so much flex, I can't tell if it's... and I have the same rack on my other bike as I do on this bike. Sometimes I tell myself it's the rack. But really, is it the rack on the... and I know the steel frame is not so bad as on my aluminum Gary Fisher I had, but it still is real. I mean, is this flex coming from the rack, or is this flex coming from the rims? Is the flex... I mean, is it flex because the tire's too cushiony? I want to put a lot of blame on my rims. And if I was rich, I'd have a rim to test it out on. Maybe I'll buy another rim and give this rim to my son's bike build or my wife's bike build. But it is light, 500 grams, right? You see, I'm glad now I didn't turn the camera off. Well, almost done with this beer. See the banana tree over there? Blowing in the wind. This is the way I gotta go. You see them hanging the clothes to dry? I hung my clothes for years and years in East Germany and China. And one day I bought a dryer recently. Living the good life. See those houses up there? Bars on them? Careful the ninjas. Okay? Even here where the convenience store, they hang their clothes to dry, right? Done. Time to get home for family night, folks. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to get on my bike and I'm going to turn it on and do my blog for the commute ride. It'll be an interesting ride. You know you can ride with me. Don't be shy. Just ride, right? Peace out. And the next review, I'm not sure. But I've got a couple of reviews up there for the lights that I use and for the shoes that I'm using. Look at that, huh? And also for, I don't know what. Check out the reviews in the review sections. Leave a comment if you have any questions about any of the equipment that I'm using. Leave a comment. I'll be happy to help you out on it. And just do the right thing. Ride a bike. Commute good. Take care of your family. Be healthy, wealthy, and wise. See you next time at Deep Thought Cycles at Deep Thought Cycles. Deep Thought Cycle blog. Okay. Try to make it sound right. See you.